Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is Mask of Nyarlathotep. It was written by Larry DiTilio, Lynn Willis, Mike Mason, Lynn Hardy, Paul Fricker, and Scott Dorward, and it's available from Chaosium. Our game master is Morgan Llewellyn, and this is episode 16. Our recap will be given by Zane Fleming as Theodore Gracie. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Zane?
Dear Nobody, I trust Carlton Ramsey has contacted you and you are no doubt confused and worried about what I have dragged you into. Let me start by saying I could not be more sorry. I too came late to this party and was not fully prepared. And now that I'm more aware of the full gravity of what is going on, well, let's just say this will not be an easy journey. And if I do lose my life, I will need someone who is up to the task to take my place. That's where you come in. Now, Nobody, I know it's been a few years since we've talked, but I remember our time at Eton fondly, and have purchased and read all of your novels. I especially like The Curse of the Yeti, thrilling stuff. And don't worry about that reviewer who seems hell-bent on ruining your career, calling your work childish and unoriginal. An insult I can only akin to a Scotsman being called an Englishman or a New Zealander being called an Australian, which, as we both know, is a mistake that only the lowest of bottom-feeding, inbred sewer-dwelling morons would make. Sorry, where was I? Ah, yes. I've been in England for less than a week, and already my group and I feel more than a little out of our depth. I was almost killed by a serpent humanoid creature who was disguised in his old woman. Sounds like one of your daring adventure novels, but no doubt, I assure you, it was very real. Once I'd finished licking my wounds, as it were, we returned to our suite at the Savoy. It was here that Chapman and another of our party, Octavius Fox, yes, that Fox, and I doubt he remembers you blowing up his father's car when you were in your 20s. At least I hope not. Anyway, probably best not to mention it. Now, they both decided to try the blue liquid that we found at the Serpent's house. Long story short, Fox was drowning and saw something large in the water, and then saw a deformed pyramid. Ring any bells? Chapman, well, he's fine, other than he thinks the sky is falling and that the stars are going to kill us all. Actually, thinking about it now, these men who are... You might be joining the team quicker than I thought. We met with an Inspector Barrington from Scotland Yard today, asking about the Egyptian murders. Perhaps you've heard of them. The inspector did not seem to like the idea of us sniffing around, and quite rudely told us to stay out of his way. After this, we went to the museum to do some research on the Penhew Foundation before our meeting. We met a young man named Barnard, who informed us that people have a tendency to kick the bucket on Penhew digs, and in fact, this has been happening for years. While Chapman and Fox went back to the hotel to recover from their visions, Hauser, myself, and the final member of our group of merry men, Morris, went to the Penhew Foundation. We met with Edward Gavigan, and the current head of the foundation, since Aubrey Penhew died, supposedly. Under the guise of looking to invest, I was able to ask a few questions of the man and the foundation, and we took a tour of the building. Once we got back to the hotel and told Fox and Chap what we'd found out, Fox suggested we pack up and get on to the next boat to Africa, as he felt there was nothing left for us in bonny old England. I tried to protest, saying that this was just the tip of the iceberg, but being the newest member of the team, I feel my words fell on deaf ears. But then, almost in answer to this, we found a newspaper clipping stuck to the back of our door with a knife. The clipping was of a murder case in New York that my associates had been involved in before we'd met them. Also, on the paper was the words, "You are next." At the front desk, they said a Middle Eastern-looking woman, possibly Egyptian, had come and gone. Seems Fox was wrong and I was correct. England still has plenty of secrets for us to uncover. You know something, Nobody? I hate it when I'm right. Hope you're well. Speak to you soon. Theo.
All right, so last when we left off, you were all heading to the Times to do some research into the Egyptian murders. Is that still what you intend to do?
Yeah.
All right, so arriving at the Times, they happily let you look at through their catalog, so you can all make library use rolls.
Morris is staying behind. He's not feeling well. He'll stay at the hotel.
Big fail on that one.
Normal success.
Yes, I passed with 2 points.
I failed by 6.
Okay, so Frederick and Octavius digging through here, trying to find more information about the Egyptian murders. One thing that becomes quite clear is that a lot of these people, in fact, most of them, they were identified as Egyptian nationals, but they were all by themselves, essentially. Any family that they have are in Egypt.
So they were here alone.
They were here alone. They were in various boarding houses throughout London.
Am I running across any political situations that are currently going on between England and Egypt that are not very good?
Nothing really springs up that would be causing this. And so that's part of why the public interest has been a lot of people discussing it. I've been seeing like why are these people targeted? The bodies tend to show up in Soho, but that's not where all of them lived.
Can we find? Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, and there's the matter of the 2 individuals that were not Egyptian, who were killed. One of them just worked at the docks in Soho. There's a lot of speculation he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe he saw something, was taken out. And then the other one was a young student of Egyptology.
Student of Egyptology. Is the university or the place, are any of these places near the docks? The places where people were killed, other than the dock guy?
They were in around Soho, which has docks along the river.
Okay.
So it's in the same general.
Gentlemen, do you think it's likely or possible that whatever the cult is that might be operating out of this area, they are trafficking between here and I don't know, the other side via boat, and that our dock worker just saw something that he shouldn't have, and they eliminated him?
What about the student?
Well, that's my next question. I'm worried about the dock worker. I can't think of any reason why the student would be unless he poked his nose in.
Yeah.
What was he a student of again? Remind me.
Egyptology.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what if this young student stumbled across something at the Penny Foundation and they needed to...
What if he just walked into the... We don't know what he found. Why don't we see if we can trace where he's been?
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Do we have names of any of the victims?
So you have plenty of names.
Okay. We'll just say the student. We have the student. Find out where he was studying. And, I'm starting to think, though, now with that note on the door, we have to be careful.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's watching us.
Okay, so Lucas McAllister, the student, is studying at Cambridge.
McAllister. Cambridge.
Okay.
Because what if, his teacher is a cult leader, or the head of the department's a cult leader, and he was finding out too much stuff? I think we need to be subversive. We need to go there and not ask any of those questions. We need to go to the library and see which books he was checking out, which classes he had. And then we can background research those professors without talking to them.
He might also have a connection to our inspector friend.
Right.
Because if you'll remember, our inspector was very reticent to talk about any of the two non-Egyptian
Yeah, well,
people.
I think that's the dock worker personally.
Possibly.
Do we need disguises?
The dock worker just has a slightly a higher probability of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, I think.
Well, I was
Right.
going to say,
Because the student stands
what
out.
if the dock worker is not a dock worker? What if it was a police investigator undercover?
It's also a fair assumption.
I don't know where you get these ideas from. I mean, you could say that about anybody.
Well,
Maybe I'm
because he mentioned, Inspector Barrington mentioned that his predecessor, it was one of the things he brought up, who just went missing. So I was saying, what if his predecessor went undercover to try and look into the murders, which I would doubt then that he would be undercover as a student.
Why would he be undercover as a dock worker? If the
I would
murders would
think-
take place,
I would think that it would
those are the
be-
only two non-Egyptian, unless
Yeah.
his predecessor was Egyptian, which he didn't. Because this all came up from, he said not all of the deaths were Egyptian. Like he was quite, and that was what brought up the anger, the thing. So that's why, as Frederick's saying, that's why the connection was made of the two non-Egyptian people. And then he mentioned his partner, sorry, his predecessor. So that's why I'm making that connection of possibly he was undercover as the dock worker.
you know, the policeman might have been very reticent to talk to us because he's onto something and he doesn't want us to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. It is possible.
Question for the keeper. In looking up information on Lucas McAllister, who's an Egyptologist, is there any reference that the Penhew Foundation, which frequently sponsors or assists in Egyptian trips, that there was any sort of business done between them? Perhaps
Make an idea roll.
We could always
Maybe he was hired as a
18.
guide.
Nailed it significantly.
18K. So you're thinking to yourself, most of these documents that you want to find, they are private records. You couldn't really get access to them. However, it was mentioned that with a donation to the foundation, you could be added to a list of membership records.
Interesting. What do you think
And
about
so when you add yourself to that document, if you make a donation, you might be able to glean something there. That's the only document you think you could be able to access without breaking and entering.
What do you think? Octavius, this would make sense from you, a patron of the arts and sciences?
I'm already such, but I mean, I'm willing. You do
It just
realize,
would
of
make
course,
sense coming from you.
we could be directly funding the bad guys if
But that would be my concern.
Well, it's not, don't give them a fortune, just make a reasonable donation.
I'll look into it. I'll look into what the minimum donation.
As I
would
was saying,
be.
we could ask our friend Bernard from the museum, because he said he was a student of Egyptology, I believe, as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. Of course, we also received our door message right after we spoke to him.
Well, we also got it right after we spoke to Penhew Foundation, and after talking to the inspector.
I'm just
Bernard
saying, he might not be
Barrington.
trustworthy.
No, it is. That's what we've ascertained, is that
He
we've got
was
to be
rather
careful, so-
conveniently there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm in a quandary as to what to do. But
Is there a way to look up like I want to go in the phone book, and the phone books back then probably weren't exactly like how they wouldn't have like businesses and stuff listed. Like I couldn't go like what a
no,
businesses in
1920 sure they would.
Soho that I don't know give off like is there any red flags when I look through businesses in Soho?
So you could definitely do that. What exactly would you define as a red flag? Because you find plenty of businesses in Soho.
Just like anything that is
Import,
in
export.
any way like African or Egyptian or anything
not
that kind of
indexed
sounds
like
like
that.
black magic-y, culty,
Maybe the Juju
like
house
like
is
a
chain.
like a juju house type. Yeah,
Juju
not that specifically the juju house, but
Make a luck roll.
a luck roll. Okay.
They each have their little pit in the basement with their own little.
Oh, yep, that is
Yeah.
a pass. That's,
It's
yeah.
locally owned and operated Juju house.
Does it need to? Do you need to know the number? Like the
Franchise.
No. So you're kind of flicking through, and eventually you come across the word pyramid, and you stop.
ooh,
You see something called the Blue Pyramid Club.
the blue, and that's in
It's
Soho.
listed. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fox, Chapman,
Yeah.
Gronwald, here. The Blue Pyramid Club, Soho.
Do you realize how?
it could be nothing, could be something.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a club. I mean, just a nightclub. Now, how popular Egyptian stuff is, and
Yeah.
It doesn't
ever
sound
since,
very
Egyptian stuff in the 1920s is
everywhere.
like the thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Art
definitely.
Deco.
Art Deco
Oh, look,
is
it's-
part
I'm
of
just
what
saying
triggered
it's-
that whole. Yeah.
There's
we can
there's no
go.
harm and go check out a nightclub, night out with the lads.
I
Well,
think
like I said, shouldn't we stake out what's his name and watch him?
What?
Gavigan. That's what Ronan
yeah,
thinks we were going to do.
That's a possibility. Yes.
Perhaps.
It's like a Taco Bell. No. Well,
There's obviously a certain amount because how many deaths in total have there been from the Egyptian murders?
2 non-Egyptian, and was it 10 or something?
There's around 13 of them in total.
yeah.
Okay, so there's a decent enough Egyptian population then in Soho. If 10 people have been killed,
And these they've been spaced out.
yeah, they've been but we obviously know it's a serial killer of some kind because it's the same MO.
What we should do.
Sort of set up.
Go ahead, Hauser.
A question for the keeper. The murders, you mentioned they were spaced out. Is it like every
Are
month?
they evenly spaced out?
Evenly or every
No.
2 months or just
scattered.
No, because I mean, so this is 13 over the last several years.
got it. Okay.
Mm.
So they are.
But if we have the dates for the murders,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
can we look and see if there's a correlation between like phases of the moon?
Yeah, so that takes you a bit more time to do that. They do not seem to be correlated there.
Okay.
Because if you look at the murders in New York, a good chunk of them was for the sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here it may not be a sacrifice. It might be knocking off people that get too close to this.
Well, also the
It's a
interesting thing is
motive.
all of the people that have been killed are people that have no, like they're doing their research on who they kill because they're killing people with no family connections here. Other than, well, we don't know the 2 non-Egyptian people. As you say, the dock worker could have just been killed because they walked in on something, or you don't know, or the student stumbled across something that he wasn't meant to. Is kind of what we're going with those 2, but all the others were Egyptian nationals. They had no other family or connection here, so that means the killer or killers has done their research on these people.
Insert wisdom from Morris, who was absent. Cambridge is pretty distant from London.
And that's where the student was from, correct?
Yes, he was
So
studying at Cambridge.
let's take the exceptions and lay them to the side for a moment and concentrate on the Egyptian nationals. Now, who, if they're Egyptian nationals, they had to have help getting into England, getting into London. They had to come in. Who would know that they were here alone? Somebody in immigrations, maybe.
Except a sponsoring organization.
A sponsoring organization,
Such as the Pinhue Foundation, who has direct ties with Egypt.
But do they? That's what we need to find out, is if they had something to do
Do they
with it.
sponsor immigration?
I wonder, as a British seaman, if Morris has any connections with immigration at the docks and whatnot.
I don't know, why would he? Um,
No, definitely not with immigrations.
um,
He may know more about protocols than we do. Just unloading ships and where people go, where things go. But
so somebody is, what would you call him? Like a lookout. Somebody works, let's say, in immigration, and they notice an Egyptian immigrating who has no family ties here. Maybe he's got family back at home, but he's here all alone. And then they alert the cultists, and the cultists wait for the right moment, whatever that is, and then they kill him. Now, something that just occurred to me. Back in Harlem, there were a number of murders, but were they sacrifices? Because weren't they taking the sacrifices and tossing them into that thing? How would they know that there were sacrifices if they found the bodies?
Yeah.
They had something carved into their forehead. Was that the commonality? Or they maybe just ritual killings because they got too close? Or
Yeah, I think
these
they maybe
London
just
murders
ritual
didn't have things carved into their foreheads. They were
So
just
these
beaten
people-
savagely and then stabbed in the heart.
right. So these people here are also people that have been found by the police. You'd think that sacrifices would have been disposed of by the cultists.
I think both sound like ritual killings, not sacrifices, but I think both sound like ritual killings, not the same killing. Just out of interest as well, were all of the people killed men, or is it a mix?
I think it was a mix. I think we heard it was a mix.
It is a mix.
Okay, all right. Cool.
Could
So
it
it's
be
not-
an
they're not
initiation?
focusing
Could it be
Perhaps
like an initiation? If you want to be in our club, you have to go out and kill somebody
that would lend itself to the
and bring back their
opportunistic
heart or
nature of
whatever.
these killings.
on- But they're all exactly the same. They're all exactly the same. Right? Even if it's multiple people,
It would explain why they're
there'd be
random.
some differentiate. Well, no, but like I'm saying, like the stab to the heart would be a different strength and stuff. It would never be the exact same.
Well, we
thing.
don't know that it's exactly the same. Maybe they
True.
blow some drug in their face that inoculizes them, and then they do whatever they're
Oh, shit.
supposed
Well,
to do and then go away.
Maybe we should start wearing masks.
Octavius, roll a spot hidden.
I got a 42 out of 45.
Okay, so as you're having a conversation, you look up at the clock. It's approaching 5 p.m.
Oh.
So your window, if you want to follow Gavigan still today, your window of when businesses would be shutting down is approaching.
Yeah, business should be shutting down. Should we follow Gavigan?
That might be a good idea. Maybe,
Yes,
and then
Yeah, we can follow him if nothing comes of it. We can go check out the
Blue Oyster or
Blue
whatever
Pyramid
it is. Blue
Club.
Pyramid.
I would like to, if nothing comes of either, maybe pursue the donation to see what we can glean.
We can do that tomorrow when they're open again.
Giving money to because if they are bad, even a small amount of money can fund quite a bit of ammunition and poisons and all kinds of stuff.
I agree. I do not like to give them money just to give them money, but to get information. It is sometimes worth giving a little to get something in return that can tear them down.
We don't necessarily need to pay them to get the information.
But we're running out of time.
Other means.
Let us.
So we'll head over to the Penhu Foundation to.
We'll consider it. We'll consider the joining. All right. So we'll take my car. We'll drive over. I'll drive.
And Hosser's grabbing his trench broom, tucking it away. Too many bad experiences.
We're going to park where we can see the front door of the building. Hopefully he'll come out the front door.
Yeah, so you park there, and sure enough, checking your watch a little bit after 5, you see Gavigan walk out.
There he is.
And he walks out, and he's just doesn't head to a car or anything. He just starts walking down the sidewalk.
No, he's walking. Shit. Okay.
Does he sound? Sorry. Does he look strange in any way? Like he's walking fast? Is he walking faster than like normal, or like, you know?
No, he just seems to just be leisurely strolling.
Okay, all right.
He doesn't he doesn't look. He's not like looking around all anxious. He's walking at a pretty normal, relaxed pace.
He might be heading for the tube. Let's.
He hasn't seen you or Chapman.
No, well, we're in the car. You can't see. He's not even going to expect us. So we turn the car around and we start following him down the street.
Okay.
Nonchalant.
All right, so you're following behind him.
I wouldn't stalk him, Octavius.
No. But I mean, I'm gonna
at least wait until he turns the corner.
Oh, right. I'm not gonna make it obvious.
So he goes. He turns the corner. Can you just give me your choice of stealth or drive auto?
I got a 16 on my drive auto, and my drive auto is 40. So
Okay,
that's actually a hard.
Okay, so you do a pretty excellent job of, there are cars between.
The thing is, all cars
and
look
where you
pretty
saw.
much the same.
So if he was watching for somebody, I mean, you perfectly blend in.
You shift very quietly.
Drive back past.
So he meanders his way over into Soho, and he stops at this little store with the sign that says Empire Spices.
Hmm.
And
That sounds exotic.
Empire. It does.
You might just like curry.
Yeah,
import export. That's what you should look into.
That's one thing that I haven't had while we're here.
Some curry.
We should hit up. Yeah, we should hit up a.
We'll have curry after we're done tonight. That sounds really good.
Stay focused, gentlemen, please.
Well, he's in the shop unless he.
Did he go in the shop? Or is he,
yes, he went inside.
Okay, he entered the store.
I'm going to park the car. Not really park it, but put it somewhere where we can still see the front end of the store, but we don't look like we're waiting for him.
Okay.
Can I also do a search, like look just around the rest of the street and possibly see if there's any? I'm kind of keeping out if another car's following us or something along those lines.
Roll a spot hidden.
Okay.
There's a black car. Oh, there's another black car.
95. No, it's a big fail.
So you look around. Yeah, there are black car.
Yeah.
Black car, gray car.
Gray. Somebody's
Double
rich.
decker red bus.
Anyway, so waiting in the car, he's in there for about half an hour, and you see him leave. He's not carrying anything.
He's not carrying anything,
and he's wandering towards the waterfront.
Should two of us follow on foot and two in the car, just in case?
Perhaps.
Well, it's
how's
not necessarily yet, but you can hop out the car.
You come with me. Let's. We'll go by foot.
Because he knows he would. So this might be good. The two people he.
Well, Theo, you are kind of dressed
like the vampire, or
well, not. I wouldn't say that, but more ostentatiously than common dock folk.
We're completely camouflaged in the car.
I can't drive at all. Well, I don't know about House's driving situation.
Stay in the car. If he goes into the tube, then you can hop out.
You stay with Octavius, and I'll take my sweatered self out with Hauser.
Hauser, just because I'm assuming we can still see him. Have a look through the window of the shop. See if you can see what the store owner looks like.
Yeah. What?
See if they're Egyptian or Middle Eastern looking.
So you two are walking by Empire Spices. Octavius and Theo, you are continually driving in the car. So your hard success will just carry that over. He walks down to the docks, and he goes up to a warehouse. He goes inside, and same thing. You wait there for a bit.
Note the location of the warehouse.
Okay. Is
Well,
there
you're
a
not
name
there.
at all on the warehouse?
You're at the shop. Or
No, I'm not. I'm with you in the car.
oh, you're within the car. Okay.
Oh, before
No.
we
Just note the address. We can find out the name.
Okay.
So the address you are currently you are by Bow and Bow Street. You came down Bow Street, and then there's Whitechapel, I believe, are the roads.
Bow Cheap and Whitechapel. Okay.
Once again, it might be an import business because the last problem we had was
Yes.
with an import business,
Yes, yeah. What was it?
the Juju House.
Oh, the import place was the Juju House. I thought that was Emerson.
Oh, well, that too. But the Juju House had all that imported stuff from.
Yeah, but that was imported
Africa.
via Emerson Imports.
All right, but I'm saying that's kind of our connection. They're bringing stuff back and forth.
Yeah,
What better way to travel?
true.
And here he stays in there for about 15 minutes, and then he leaves, and he starts heading back to London.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
Keep
gonna
following
continue
him.
to follow
He eventually arrives at some apartments and goes inside.
Okay, so we know his apartments.
Mm-hmm.
So you know where he lives.
All right, so now we've just got to find out what the spice is on the.
Yeah,
Okay.
head back. Did we? The boys catch up to us when we were at the warehouse?
No.
Okay.
Well, okay, so it's been so Frederick and House are walking by the Empire Spices, looking in through the windows. You see that it's the interior is just shelves and shelves of jars of spices. But you don't see anybody in the shop area, like in the front. You can see a hallway leading back through the window, but you don't see anybody.
They're
like a
closed, right?
Yes.
Yep, small size storefront.
You should just take that place out and see if an Egyptian woman comes out.
And looking at this building, you've seen shops like this before. That the upstairs is a residence.
Oh yeah.
So they have the business downstairs. The
So we've got
residence is
the
upstairs.
We've got the address there too.
There isn't like a little cafe or something across the street by any chance, is there?
Sure.
Well, if that's their house, they're not coming out.
Yeah.
But we can find out from the records who owns the building and who's staying there, and who's running the store. That's all got to be public record.
Yeah, that's likely.
And the warehouse. That we can all have first thing in the morning.
Excellent. And just, it's nice to know there's a cafe, so we can easily put eyes on it if we want to at any time for, good reason.
Okay, so we all caught back up now? Like we're back in the
Yeah,
same...
we're all back in the car.
Okay, cool.
Nice
what
cafe.
time is it now?
Now we'll say it's about 6 p.m.
Okay,
It's
so the
curry
cafe
time.
Will be, yeah, let's go find a curry place, and maybe we'll go check out this club, see if there's any connections with, which is I think it's a reach, but we'll check it out.
All right, I'm going to drive kind of weird. I just want to make sure nobody's following us.
Good call.
Because I don't want to get my curry and have it poisoned.
Okay, so you drive pretty weird.
Mm-hmm. Like this.
Driving with your knees. So
Oh, yes,
you're
yes.
pretty
American
sure you're not
drive.
being followed.
Okay.
And you find a curry place.
Octavius, if you drive backwards the whole time, they won't know which direction we were heading. They'll think we were going that way.
I could drive on the wrong side of the street. Oh, geez, I've been driving on the wrong side of the street all this time.
Oh,
I wondered
that
why all these
explains the
English
honking.
people were.
Hmm.
All right. So I'm going to have the yellow curry. I have to play this part out.
I'll have a vindaloo, thank you.
Chicken tikka masala.
So we eat and have a good fill ourselves up.
So,
Is the red curry actually spicy, or is it a heinous falsehood?
the English love their spicy curry.
Yeah, there's plenty of spice.
That's good.
Plenty
That's
of
good.
spice.
Roll Constitution versus spice.
Yeah. Frederick spends the rest
You
of the this
go
round
ahead
in
and
the
do that,
toilet.
house, sir, if you'd like.
No.
So first thing we need to do is find out who owns
7.
these places.
Remember, I'm from the American Southwest.
Yeah, you're used
Yeah,
to
but
hot.
Mexican spice and Indian spice are very
Different kind of spice.
Oh yeah, you
Can be,
Yeah,
can be, but
oh no, they are.
capsaicin is
Trust me, you're gonna get
capsaicin.
hurt in very different places.
No, this is
Oh.
while I'm eating. It's fine. We'll get to that
There's
later.
also a difference with like Chinese and Asian spices as well, man. Like,
All right, so
So the blue.
people aren't going to have answering machines. So
yeah, and it's pretty late, so like trying to find out who owns, like doing that sort of research is probably going to be hard to do tonight.
right. Well, they should be like the Hall of Records. We should be able to find out this information. It's public route. It's public knowledge, so it's not like you have to jump through hoops to get it. Damn, I wish that policeman would have helped us. He would have been so much help. My guess is he's got a whole bunch of information that he's not going to let us have for security reasons, you know.
While
Well,
we're
none of
eating
us
dinner,
have, you know.
Yes, well, can't make it too easy on ourselves.
What are the other things on our possible list of exploration? There's the werewolf thing, and wasn't there another one?
There's the
there were
werewolf.
3.
Well, we've solved the painting issue.
There's
Yes.
the painting,
3.
the Egyptian murders, and the werewolves. So we're looking into the Egyptian murders now. Hauser would like us to do the donation tomorrow, if we don't get any leads from. I think possibly let's look into see if who owns the spices and see if we can find connections with the foundation and other stuff elsewhere first before giving money to them, in case they are not on the up and up.
Did you want to go to this Blue Pyramid Club tonight?
Yeah, we'll go check it out. I mean, there's no harm.
Get a drink, relax.
Exactly.
During dinner, I'm starting to get paranoid. I'm keeping an eye out the window, looking around, making sure no one's
No, I don't think anybody could follow us.
Actually,
following.
I got to call a waiter over in the Indian restaurant.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Yes, I was just what this the spices in this vindaloo are absolutely exceptional. Whereabouts do you get your spices from? Empire Spices by any chance?
Oh, well, yes. Anybody who has any respect for cooking would get their spices from there. They're the best spice dealer in town.
Yes. Now, what was the name? What was the name of the owner at Empire Spices? I just want to know who to ask for.
Oh, well, I'll go ask. 1 second.
Oh, thank you kindly.
They're going to come out with a machine gun, and that's the end of us.
So they come back out with the machine gun. No, you all die.
It shoots curry.
It's a total party kill. Thanks to everybody for playing masks. It's been a blast.
Rocks fall.
Boy, is Morris going to be surprised.
So he comes back and he said, well, so the chef is saying that Zara Shaikh. Zara Shaikh, she is the owner.
Zara Shaikh.
excellent. I will make sure, like I said, that the food is. My compliments to the chef. Yes, I thank you for the information. And I'll tip the waiter.
Wow, that was really good thinking, Theodore.
I have them occasionally.
Let's go have a drink.
Okay. So you wander over to where the Blue Pyramid Club, and it immediately clicks in your head that this part of town looks really familiar. Why does this look so familiar?
Looks like London.
And then you look, and you see that the back of this building. So if here's where the club is, behind it is Empire Spices.
Huh.
Jesus Christ, I hate it when you're right, Theodore.
I wasn't expecting that much of a connection. Shit.
Let's not go in there.
You know,
Well, I think maybe Octavius and Frederick, you can go in, but again, the Foundation haven't seen you. Unless there is a connection with the stuff that went on in New York, because then they know who all of us look like, and there's no, us trying to pretend we're not, it's out the window regardless.
well, I don't think we should go in. If this Zara Chic,
Well, let's put it this way:
She knows what we look
Empire
like.
Spices is now connected with the Blue Pyramid. We know Edward Gavigan with the Penhew Foundation is now involved because he was in there for 30 minutes and came out with nothing. Spending 30 minutes in that small little shop and getting nothing, but now
Right.
we know it backs up into this building of the,
Yeah, it's a long time, 30
It-
minutes to get
it-
nothing.
it
We're-
sounds
We're lucky he
way.
came out of the other entrance.
It sounds
We
way
could have
too
lost
much.
him.
Way too much like the situation with the Juju house. I'm not going.
I
in
agree. No, what I'm saying, this to me, I may be jumping to conclusion, but this to me confirms that the Penhew Foundation, there's something funny going on. Gavigan's involved with it. Just I smell a rat. I believe is the
At least
American
Gavigan.
saying.
I
Maybe
think
not the whole Penhew Foundation, but at least
Well,
Gavin.
possibly if
possible.
Aubrey Penhew, who started the foundation, was a part of the Carlisle expedition and isn't dead, and now we have another the person who took over as head of the foundation is now possibly involved in Egyptian murders. I'd say the Penhew Foundation is
Questionable,
rough
at
at
least.
this stage. Which I don't know about you, Fox, but I'm not going to be giving a donation to the foundation. I don't want any of my money going towards.
I think that we need. I think that now too many coincidences have come together that make it feel suspicious. Although, if you really examine all of it, it still might not be the case. But it's starting to feel.
What if this woman who owns the Empire Spices? What if she's the one that left the note?
That's what we're thinking. But what if
That's what
she's
I was
not?
thinking, yes. She might not be.
It's a possibility. We didn't see her. The only way would be to somehow try and get a picture of this woman and then show it to the clerk at the.
I think.
But that's a lot of work to do.
I think we have to find out two things. One, we have to find out if this is a private club, so that when we walk in, they don't say, "You're not supposed to be here." And two, I think that we need to don some sort of a disguise. Because if this is like the Juju house, we'd be like Christopher walking right into the devil's.
Can we see what the kind of caliber of people walking into the Blue Pyramid Club look like? Are they like well dressed, or are they more like dock worker looking type people?
So the people walking in, they're very well dressed.
Okay.
And a lot of them look like probably young men in their early 20s.
Dressed in tuxes? Are they dressed
Not
in
necessarily,
tuxes?
not tuxes.
Nice fabric and well tailored.
Yeah, they look well to do.
Okay. White and Middle Eastern, like it's a mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a mix.
All right, so we need to find out what that club is.
Yeah.
And then we need to find out some way of disguising us so that we don't look obviously like us.
That unless we are good at disguising, that would.
No, sometimes it's just a matter of changing what you're wearing,
Oh yeah, maybe
combing your hair different, and
Yeah. Wearing glasses.
Well, if we
second
can
we've
get
got
some,
to figure we've got to confirm that
flour,
this
we
is,
can whiten our hair, age ourselves up a bit.
And
let's
as you keep watching, you're looking at this. You see that the door opens, and you see that these two rather strong men throw this kid out onto the street. And he's, once again, like everyone else, he's pretty well dressed, and he kind of rolls off the ground, and he's just laughing.
drunk.
It's like, you guys, you keeping me honest, you guys. Good for you. And he starts trying to walk back in, and they stop him. And you're like, no, you're done for tonight.
So he's clearly drunk.
And he starts walking down the road, and it's Bernard.
Let's grab him.
Yeah. Drive past and just yank him in.
Well, no, Bernard, get the bloody hell into the back seat of our car, and we'll beat the shit out of you. No, enough.
Bernard, get in the trunk.
Get in the
Trunk.
Bernard, we're going to another club. Come with us.
Bernard, get in. Bernard, so tell us all about the Blue Pyramid.
So you pull him over. Then there's like a look of kind of recognition in his eyes. Sorry, where do I know you chaps from?
From the
library.
restaurant this afternoon, remember? Library?
Wasn't it the museum?
Oh,
Oh,
Come on, Hoppus.
museum.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
museum.
you're the Penhue boys.
Yeah, hop in.
Sure, yeah.
He gets in the car.
So what can you tell us about the Blue Pyramid? It's a nice club.
Oh, it's a great club. It's a great club.
Jazz or what's the theme?
Oh, do you like Egypt? Let me tell you, they got the Egyptian stuff going. The band's great. The girls are really great.
Mm.
Yeah, just what a great place.
Do you go there often?
It's a look don't touch though. I learned that the hard way.
Do you know anybody named Zara Sheikh or Sheikh?
Shahik?
Sheikh.
No. Should I?
Zara? No.
No. I heard this was a good place, and so I.
You ever see any Penhue people in there?
Occasionally.
You ever see
the director of the Gavigan. Edward, I think his name is. He goes there sometimes.
Okay.
What about his secretary? The name.
I don't know his secretary.
Jerky McJerk?
No, he did give us his name. I just can't find it in my notes. Okay.
So is there any way anywhere we
Tom
can drop
Skinnery.
you?
That was it.
Thomas Kinnery, yeah. Is there any place we can drop you off?
You could just take me.
Bernard, where did you study?
Where did I study? Oh, well, Cambridge.
Does the name, what was the name of the Cambridge student?
Lucas McAllister.
Does the name Lucas McAllister ring any bells, Bernard?
No.
Can I do a psych roll on him?
Sure, he's very drunk.
yeah.
Actually, if he's
He's-
drunk, you should be able to get him to tell us anything that he knows.
I got a 17. So that
Yeah, no, he
being
doesn't
honest,
know
okay.
who you're talking about.
Okay.
The student
All right, I was worth a try.
the student that was killed.
From Cambridge.
Oh, the
Yeah,
student.
Lucas.
No, you see, he's a current student. I mean, I'm doing
You're-
postgraduate things, working on my PhD.
Would any of your chums or anything possibly know anything about him? Know what his connections were? If he was working on any projects? Who his teachers might have been?
No, I mean, I'm sure he has an interaction with any of those professors of Egyptology there. You know, he's contacted the department. I don't know what projects he would be doing. I mean, any work at the museum is the exhibits that they have are great for study. The Penhew Foundation would be another excellent resource for any student doing any serious research.
That would be my question. Do you think there's a possibility that he would have been connected?
I'm sure a
with-
professor most definitely would have recommended the foundation to him. I mean, they did the same for me.
I see. Okay, so there's a strong possibility then that he may have had some form of connection with the Penhew Foundation.
Do you know anything about
Oh.
the spice shop, Empire Spices, on the other side of the road?
No. Nope, never heard of it.
Well, is there another nightclub we can drop you off at, or drop you off at home?
Oh, another nightclub. Well, I know there's other. Anyway, so he directs you to another club on
All right.
several blocks away.
So we'll just let him out,
hmm
unless somebody's got another question for him. Take care of yourself,
No.
Bernard.
I'm going to do another check to see if we're being followed or anything like that.
You roll a spot hidden.
There's a black car following us.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out too. I'm pretty paranoid.
That is a pass.
Oh
Just
my
a
goodness,
regular.
is that gray car again? No, you're not.
Oh, okay, I was like, wait, what?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You don't see anybody following you.
Well, guys, what next? You want to just go back? There's definitely a connection here now.
Yeah.
We need to make a plan. Yes, I think we need to get back, check on Morris. Quite honestly, as much as I love the Savoy, we may need to find a less
Maybe.
it's a bit like sitting ducks in the most
So,
deluxe hotel in London.
so,
Are there
I-
any good bunkers around here?
so
Chapman,
Theodore,
stop drinking the blue liquid.
Theo,
I
I'm
have
playing
it.
the devil's advocate. Okay.
Okay.
Gavigan works at the Penhew Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and we know now that he goes to the Blue Pyramid
And then
Relax.
Spices. Yeah.
and the spices, and we still don't know that anything funny is going on unless we can establish that that woman actually is the woman that left the note, and we don't know that.
As I said, there is a way of doing that, which is if we can get, if Howes is pretty good with the camera, if he can get an image of her and we show the clerk at the hotel to confirm.
How do you take a picture of somebody like that?
You point the camera
Yeah.
at their face.
You can't just walk in and take a picture of
Yeah.
someone.
There's,
Well, one of us could
incredibly
distract her.
rude.
One of us could distract her as Hauser takes the photo.
What if she knows what we all look like? That's the problem.
Well, she already does though. If she's
Then
the one
why
that
would you
left
walk
the
up to her and take a picture without her? We want her not to know that we know that she's the one.
Well, no, she won't see Hauser taking the photo. He'll take.
how
it
about we look, if we can find some of her writing, we could then compare it to the note writing. But then again, she could easily have had anyone else write the note.
What if we see if there's some article on the spice shop and a picture of her
Good.
Possible.
and
Is
show
anyone
that to
any
the...
good at drawing? We could do a sketch of stick figure. Is this the woman you saw? Jesus.
All right, let's just assume then that there is a connection here.
Here's an idea. What if we pay the hotel clerk, say, go to this address, go in, tell us if the woman behind the counter is the one you saw.
Now you're endangering him. Because if he walks in...
Only if she recognizes him from the hotel.
But she might. He might go, oh, hi, I saw you at the... And she immediately
tell
gets
him not to
suspicious.
do that.
But I don't know. I don't want to endanger somebody who's completely innocent in this.
We could get a picture of her if we...
All right. Let's just assume there's a connection. Maybe we don't have to prove it. If we're wrong, then nothing happens. If we're right, then we can avoid getting thrown into a pit of monster. Oh my God.
If
So
we-
it's a good option. Not
If-
getting thrown into
If
a pit.
we could find one other restaurant that is good, that uses Empire spices, right? I am a reporter. I could do a story on the great restaurants and the spices they get here at a spice house. Would give very good reason to go in, interview, take pictures, and leave.
But that, again, it brings up the thing that Fox said. If she knows who we are...
And she sees you, she'll know that the jig is up.
Yeah.
And she'll put a bullet in your head. Who knows?
And that's the thing. She's obviously... There's an issue
right.
because she's made a very lively threat with the knife in the door.
Okay, here's what we need to figure out. Okay, we're figuring things out, but are they important things? We're looking for we're looking for the Penhew connection to possible murders in an Egyptian cult. Okay, for now, let's just assume the woman is the woman who's threatening us, and we now know that there's a connection between Penhew and that. What do we do about it? Now that if assuming that we know, what do we do about it?
Is there any way we could give an anonymous tip to Barrington? Tell him to look into the Blue Pyramid and...
Well, he's already looking into the spice shop. We should see what's
Oh,
going on with that
do we know that?
warehouse. He went into the spice shop.
Barrington?
No, you're thinking of Gavigan. Gavigan went into the
Oh.
spice shop.
Never
Barrington's the police the Scotland Yard guy.
We could give him an anonymous tip to say that we've found a connection, well, that there's a connection between the Blue Pyramid Club, the Penhew Foundation, and Empire Spices.
Thing is that now what if we're wrong?
Well, then nothing happens. It's anonymous.
No, something
tip.
does happen then, because now the Scotland Yard is
No,
all
but
over the top of
they're
us.
not going to follow us because if it's we give the tip anonymously.
Well, if we give the tip,
Yes, he might.
anonymously,
He might think that it's us, but he'll have no proof of it.
if we give it anonymously, he might not bother to follow it up.
Well, I mean, I think even if we told him straight up, he wouldn't do it anyway because he.
Well, we've already
wants
told him that if we
time.
figure anything out, we would tell him.
We should also look into this dock worker. Look into that situation and look at, as you were saying, that the men, the immigrants, the victims, check out what their connection was and see if they had any connection with the Blue Pyramid.
You got a good one. Dock worker. Where did he get killed? What was docked at the time that he got killed?
And the warehouse that Gavigan went to. We didn't follow up with that. What was the
we
name
haven't
of
yet.
the warehouse?
But no, don't jump on another subject. The dock worker, what was docked? What did he see?
Yes.
Okay, if we find out that it was a ship going to Egypt and it was
Coming
owned
in.
by the Penhew Foundation, then we've got a really super solid
And then we can give something to
connection. Yeah, then we've got
to-
something to give the policeman.
to give Barrington to look into.
Now there should be records of all that stuff.
I
Who was
also would
done.
like to see if there's any. I mean, one way to be able to if it's public record, see if there's any more, like if the Foundation own any warehouses or any other buildings or
Right.
anything of the like.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Well, if that's public record, as you say, it'll be in the House of Records.
Do you wanna go by that warehouse and take a peek inside?
Well, might as well. We're all armed, aren't we?
Yeah.
More or less.
As long as we stay together. No.
Well, I don't want to get seen. I just want to take a peek. It's probably just full of fucking spices.
Well, if it is, then we know. Then it's I'd like to get the name of it as well, and then so that we can check with the records later to see if it's owned by Empire Spices or the Penhew Foundation.
We have its addresses. We can find all that out easily. Name and owner.
Let's go. We'll go have a quick look and see if there's any.
See if there's any activity there. If it's completely
activity,
closed. Yeah. And hopefully, if all of this is a horrible cult monstrosity thing, they don't have a pit there filled with a screeching monster that drives us all insane.
The
Fingers
other
crossed.
possibility to look into as well is, I know it's a little bit of a distance away, but drop into Cambridge and see where this student might have been, if he was associated with the Penhew Foundation.
We could
Cambridge
do.
is huge.
Yes.
Well, but we
if we're
know we're
heading to
looking for
Cambridge,
the
we might as well
Egyptology
take care of
department.
the werewolf if it's along the way.
Well, we can't do Cambridge tonight, but
But we
let's
can
drive by the warehouse and see if
Yeah,
there's any
warehouse.
activity. If there's not, maybe we can sneak and take a peek.
So
If
we'll
I
head
hear
over
so
to
much
there.
as a little, I'm
out. Yeah, agreed.
Okay, driving by the warehouse, and I get a group luck check.
Oh, so whoever's got
Who has the lowest luck? Make a roll.
Oh, who has the lowest luck? My
I
luck
have
is
77.
45. Am I the lowest?
Lower, you might be.
Yeah.
I'm 40.
Oh, so it's
Okay.
you.
83.
Yep, no luck.
Can't
Can I use
spend
my
luck on
luck to enhance his?
So you right by the dock, and it seems deserted.
Oh.
It worries me that he failed his luck and it's deserted.
It seems deserted.
Seems-
Can I do a listen check?
Why don't you take out your crystal ball and see for us? Because I think that's how you've been figuring these things out. Scrying.
Well, no, that's my my cards. But
Let's
I
be
can't,
really
it's
careful.
not
Let's
sitting
be really
right here.
careful. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you
right.
get out of the car and walk strangely, we'll be able to tell if anyone's watching.
So I guess we'll go have a see if we. Can I see the name on? Is there a name on the warehouse wall or anything yet?
No.
Okay.
Number?
So the address, like its street number, is on there.
And we know it's Whitechapel and Bow Street. I think you said.
Yeah, it's close to the intersection of. It's just. It is east of that intersection.
Yeah. So
Where
can I do a
Bow-
listen check as we get closer?
Go for it.
27, which is a pass. That is a hard pass.
Well, you definitely hear the river. You hear boats.
Okay.
It's very hard to hear little minute things.
So what I'm not hearing anything that I wasn't expecting.
Right.
Okay, cool. Okay.
What's the architecture on the warehouse like? Just
So it's a massive long building. Part of it juts out over the water.
It's a pyramid.
wood,
It's a
Nothing
giant
liar.
twisted pyramid.
but like wood slats and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Or
keeping
steel.
that in mind, and I'll
That'd
start.
be hilarious.
I'll
It's a
start
pyramid and
lowly.
it's
I'll
like-
start lowly talking to everyone else if I see anyone, and describing the architecture and stuff if I see anyone approach us.
Nobody,
That's fine.
nobody's approaching you.
We'll all just start singing a drunken song and try not
All
to
four
fall
of us.
down. How dry I am, sweet Adeline.
So is there windows on the ground level or?
No.
Okay, shit.
You can see where there would be windows and like above, like where an office would be, and like on the second story.
Is there
The lights
like
are off.
a fence around the property, or is it just warehouses?
No fence.
Well, we don't see any
Walk around
lights on. We don't see any security. Did any of us bring torches? Probably
I don't
not.
have one on
We
me.
weren't
No.
preparing to do anything like this.
No.
Well, let's stick to the sidewalk and see what we can walk around.
All right.
Fox, worst comes to worst, we could maybe try our little thing we tried on the boat.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, if something happens, but
That's what I'm saying. If something happens,
I'm more like how we could maybe walk right up to the door and go inside, but if it's pitch black, we got no way of seeing anything. So maybe we have to postpone this.
let's do a walk around the building. We won't go in, but we'll do a walk around the.
All right.
See if
Or at
anything
least
catches.
walk to the water side.
Yeah.
Make sure
See
there's
if
not a
there's any
guard
boat
walking
stops.
around. A security guard. Let's make sure there's not
Keep
one.
vigilant. Yeah.
Okay, so you walk around the perimeter, and towards the side where the water is, you can see a boat docked a little ways off, and kind of sitting at the edge of the water are a couple of men smoking.
All right. Let's back away.
Yeah. Have they noticed us?
We're in pitch black, so
No, they have noticed you.
good. Yeah. No, we'll back
Right.
away.
all right. Let's see what we can find out from the paperwork, and then maybe come back. We'll see.
Okay, and as you turn around and you're going back, you notice that now there are people. You see 3 people in suits, kind of by that walkway to get back around.
Oh,
Have they noticed?
And you hear one of them say, "It's like, so they decided to take a stroll around the building."
Okay, I'm gonna do the fog spell.
You do not have that memorized.
I thought I did memorize it
No.
when we were on the boat.
I said you had to read it off of
all right.
off of
Let's-
paper. It
I
takes a
thought
bit more
I-
study
sorry,
to
I
actually
thought I-
It takes a lot more study to actually memorize a spell.
Okay.
Pretty.
Let's
Let's
go in
read.
the opposite direction, and then take a tangential course away from the building.
How close are they?
They are pretty close to you. They position themselves so when you're coming back away from the waterfront that they intercept you before. Your only other way is to jump into the water at this point.
So when you say really close, you're talking like 20, 30, 40 feet?
Yeah. But they'd be like, and one of them says, yeah, they're walking around. Walking around. What do you gentlemen have such an interest in our little warehouse here?
Oh, the warehouse? No,
Yeah.
Sorry, I was feeling a bit queasy and thought I might throw up. And thought that the water side would be a better option than the sidewalk.
We're
Excuse
just getting some fresh air.
Are they carrying anything, or do we notice any bulges in their upper?
Yeah, now that you look, one of them definitely they have guns trained on you.
Oh, they've got them
shit,
trained on us.
trained.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we didn't notice that from farther
So
back.
yeah, so one of them was leaning up against two of them were leaning up against the wall, but now that you're looking for it, I mean it's dark, but they're They're not pistols either.
Is there any way for me to do a luck roll to see if I can...
That we
the
just
spell
failed
right?
the luck roll.
No, but I'm saying if I can do a luck roll to try and get the spell right, like, or do it with a penalty. I don't know.
You know, if
No.
you get it wrong, what happens?
Well, I don't know. So there's just no way at all possible. Okay. All right. Shit.
Is there
Did
any?
Did it seem like they bought my explanation?
They've got guns trained on us. What do you think?
So yes, the one that's kind of talking to you kind of steps forward. The other two step a bit closer. They
I
have.
don't shoot. We're just out getting some walk. If we didn't see nothing.
Ah, I don't know. It's good that you didn't see nothing. But we would just really like to talk to you inside.
You want to talk to us about what?
Excuse me. Who exactly are you? Obviously, you own the building. We're just out for a stroll. Why should we be stopping to? Why you have guns trained?
It's just a very. The Limehouse Docks is just such a very odd place for a stroll. And I mean, I don't mind people taking strolls, but when I see them drive up and get out of the car, and then they start walking around my warehouse, I just have to ask myself,
Well, perhaps we could.
Business.
Well, let's talk business then. Perhaps we could come to an arrangement financially for us to just continue on with our stroll.
Financially?
Yes.
I'm going to pull up my flask and take a big mouthful of.
Hopefully, you don't take it out too quickly.
Well, I don't have a jacket on. So.
How much to leave this a nice situation, and all of us just carry on our way.
I prefer to do business in my office.
So I am going to look like I'm going to light my pipe, but I've got a mouthful of alcohol, which I'm about to spew out when I light my lighter, so that it, like
How
that,
many are there?
and then run like fuck.
There are 3 of them.
3. Okay. 3 of them, 4 of us, and then how many guys were sitting behind us?
There were 3 guys behind you, and they are no longer sitting on the edge of the waterfront. They are.
Okay, so 6.
Well, you're not giving us
Approaching
any
you from
room to
behind.
run, so then fuck it. I won't do that. I'll swallow. I think at this point we're fucked, so whatever.
We could go for the water.
No, they'll shoot us in the backs if we move.
And they closed. How much distance did they close? They're like about 10 feet away, or are they?
No,
within-
they're staying back.
We got people behind us and in front of us. We're screwed.
Before we talk about going inside with you to talk of business, may we know the name of who we're speaking to? We can't be expected to do business with a man we don't know his name. That's bad business.
He's got a gun on you.
Yeah, you see, your friend here is smart.
Perhaps.
We've obviously stumbled into something that we don't know anything about. Look,
Yeah. Look. Just be honest. That's all I want is honesty. What were you looking for?
nothing in particular.
Look, getting rid of people's a headache I would care to avoid. I hope you understand that sentiment.
Let's go inside.
That's a direct threat. This guy's threatening us. Can I identify the type of weapon he has trained on us?
It's a Thompson.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit.
Let's go.
Yeah, if it was a single
Obviously,
shot,
we can't go anywhere.
to drop and shoot. But,
They've all got guns.
yeah, but the one that's trained on us is
he's got a Thompson and
is a TPK weapon.
Yep. So let's go inside. Have a talk.
I'm gonna make a point of like I'm leaning on my cane, like I'm making it like a limp a bit with the cane.
All right. So they take you inside at gunpoint.
Mhm.
They have you kind of sit against the wall.
So you want to know who we are and why we're here,
Yes. Yes, please.
all right? My name is Octavius Fox. I'm from the United States. I am a extremely wealthy fellow. That's Theodore Gracie. He's also an extremely wealthy fellow. We've got Hauser Grunwald. We've got Frederick Chapman. We're doing a little snooping around because we've had some friends who have met Bitter Inns, and we want to know what's behind it. We think that somewhere out here on the docks is something fishy going on, and it looks like we found it. You should also know that Lieutenant Detective Inspector Barrington of Scotland Yard knows where we are and why we're coming out here. So if we show up missing...
We also have another associate as well who's not with us but knows where we are and can contact the authorities if we go missing. He knows the
So at the very
location, he knows where we
best, if you've got something nasty or illegal going on out here, you can convince us that it doesn't have anything to do with what we're looking for and we'll just leave. Or if you kill us, the police will be here tomorrow morning.
And as I said, I'm more than happy to help you financially if there is no connection with us.
We don't help criminals.
Roll your choice of persuade or intimidate, Fox.
Oh, me?
Yep.
I think this is intimidate.
Yeah, I'd say.
I got a 46 out of 65. Not a hard, but...
All right. All right.
Because look, at the moment, we don't know anything.
Good. Well, if you don't know anything.
Unless you would like to tell us what's going on.
And regardless if we know
that
or
we can make
we
it
don't
worth,
turn up.
That we can make it worth your while.
Oh?
Well, I'm a multimillionaire. So is Theodore.
Well,
What's
you see,
going on?
the problem there is what do you want to know?
What's this place? What is this warehouse?
It's a warehouse.
Yeah. Oh,
Things come here, we put them on boats.
Why are you guys guarding it with machine guns?
You seem like a smart man.
Hmm.
Perhaps not everything in this warehouse is, say, above board.
Oh, please. That describes every warehouse on the docks.
Every warehouse on the docks,
country.
yes.
We don't care about illegal imports or anything. It's not what we don't have anything to do.
So this doesn't have anything to do with what you're looking for.
All right.
Well, then we, as I said, we will. There's no problems.
Well, then, fine. Let us go.
All right. I'll let you go. But I've got a memory for faces. And if I see any of you again, we won't have such a nice little chat next time.
Fine.
Sounds fair.
We'll stay away from your warehouse. Sorry that we took a walk.
All right, and they show you all out.
All right, gentlemen. Let's get back to the car. I got to get back to the hotel and change my pants.
Hell of a day to wear white pants.
I thought that was it.
Same. Yeah, I thought, yeah, that's it. I was in that scenario last time by myself.
Oh, damn, I wish I had a gas bomb.
Nice.
I'll tell you, the first thing I'm doing when I get back to the hotel room is memorizing that fucking spell.
Did these guys look like mafia or something like that?
You definitely got organized crime.
Okay, did they have British
Peaky Blinders
accents or
look.
did they have Italian accents? Or
They had British.
okay,
I just
Okay,
can't do
so-
British accents.
the British can't be criminals. They're only evil masterminds.
Bit of a Peaky Blinders vibe.
Yeah, but these guys are definitely organized crime. So
Okay.
Hmm.
We
All
know
right.
how to pick them.
So now we know that Gavigan has some ties to organized crime.
He was in there for 15 minutes exactly, and he said they were shipping stuff. So it'd be interesting to know if they ship things in from Mombasa or Egypt.
Exactly.
You know.
Well,
Just-
Theo, I'm not sure if you're aware, but archaeology and smuggling are
Well, yeah.
hand in hand.
Well, I assumed. Obviously, that's how most things would get smuggled in. But
A good 80% of the things I dug out of the ground,
you've smuggled to other
shipped.
countries.
Find us, keep us.
mostly in country.
Yeah, just
But
food for thought here. The dock workers could be organized crime. Just because someone does business on the dock doesn't mean they are with the criminals. They are just doing business.
Right.
If the worker, the dock union,
It'd be interesting to know if that's where the dock worker was killed, though, because if he was killed at that location, then maybe he did see something containing to the Penhu Foundation, so they had to kill him off.
There's another thing, though. Why is the dock worker on this list? Because I imagine in this kind of a neighborhood, people turn up dead all the time.
Well, that's why I think we also need to talk to Barrington again, because he got antsy about someone non-Egyptian getting killed, and the student does. I mean, unless the student is a nephew or something along those lines, or it's possibly worth talking to him. I don't know.
Well,
At least we have some information to give him now if we want to approach that.
this is more and more perplexing.
yeah.
Now, see, these guys might not have anything to do with Gavigan.
Well,
It's a
they do.
warehouse.
They have some. I agree. They may not have anything to do directly with what he's doing, but they have connection with Gavigan.
They have a connection with the warehouse that Gavigan uses.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll assume that
So
they
look,
have
tomorrow we
connection.
need to work out what buildings the Penhu Foundation own. To see if we can find any connection there. We need to find out more information, like the name of the dock worker, see if we can find any information about.
We just need to find out about this building.
Well, exactly. We'll go to the house records. Tonight I'm going to study this spell, because that could have got us. I think that would have helped hugely in that situation. So
Maybe.
I'm going to study it.
Spell.
Yes, me and Fat Fox.
We studied
Another
some of the
spell.
things in those books, you know.
And no, Chapman, I'm not teaching you the spell, because if you go any more bonkers, I'm going to have to put you down.
I don't know what you mean.
Good boy.
I'm perfectly fine.
Yes.
We learned,
Wearing your shoe on your head.
we found a spell in one of the books, and we tried it out on the boat coming over here. All it does is it creates a fog,
A smoke screen, basically.
a smoke screen, yeah.
Hmm.
And
Enough to
that would have
affect.
been really helpful, but
And it actually works.
it worked. I was fucking shocked. Of course, it also had a
Tingling,
cost. It
bad,
made us
yeah.
really tired afterwards, but still,
Huh.
we got to learn how to scatter sideways.
Well,
that
let
if
me
we
know
got-
if you figure out how to shoot green
Oh, yeah.
flashy shit.
I don't know even if I found that spell, I don't think I'd use it. The cost, if there's a cost for making a little bit of fog, the cost for shooting green lightning, I'm sure, is not worth it.
Well, the one that I would have liked right now would have been the one where you snap your fingers and their guns all fly off into the dark.
Yes, that would have been handy.
All right, let's get back. I'm freaking out. I think maybe we need to move to another hotel, like you said.
Yes,
Agreed.
I agree.
Yeah. And
What about
covertly
the boarding house that Morris mentioned?
Well, we don't even know if there's any possibility that there's an empty room. It's a boarding house. Let's just pick another hotel. Let's pick not such a fancy one because they'll look at all the fancy ones.
And let's split. Let's go in groups. Like, let's go in different directions and try and we'll sign in under like you gentlemen did in Peru. Christopher told me you signed in under false names in
the Pantaloon.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a branch here. The British Pantaloon.
Yes, there is a royal pantaloon somewhere in India, if I recall.
Branching pantaloons. That's somewhat poetic.
Owned by the Knickerbocker Company. Oh,
you guys are going back. Can I get a spot hidden from everybody?
Going to be followed.
Yep, 94.
93.
Pass. That is a regular pass.
Yeah, regular pass here.
So Theodore and Frederick, Theodore, you especially, all your paranoid looking around seems to be fruitful.
Oh.
You are being tailed by
Delightful.
a car.
I can take care of that.
We're definitely being tailed. We're going to move hotels anyway, so it's not. It's probably the guys from the dock. They're just trying to find out where we're going.
Yeah.
Oh, our car. Before we got in, the brakes aren't cut. I mean, they obviously know that that's our car. Hopefully.
Don't give the keeper ideas.
No, your car operates just fine. If they wanted to kill you all, they would have done
ignition,
it.
kaboom.
I got a drive roll if I can lose
If you want
them.
to try lose them, yeah.
Yeah, you could go ahead and make a drive.
I mean, I already rolled it to see.
Oh, was your pass?
Yeah.
So you drive around and you do manage to shake them eventually.
Yeah. Which probably makes them incredibly suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
If it's
they were already suspicious, they were following us.
Yeah, but now they're suspicious and they're going to be looking for us.
If it was a gang, organized crime, they don't know where we're staying. But if it's
and we're going to change hotels.
Empire
anyway, so.
Spices, they know where we are.
Unless they're all hooked into this.
Then they know where we are. So there's no point in trying to lose them.
You know what? When we get back, I'm going to make an immediate call, find another hotel, see if we can check out tonight, and get to the other hotel in the middle of the night so that when they show up tomorrow at our hotel, we won't be there.
Not from the phone in our room. That may be tapped.
How about the Langham?
The what?
The Langham Hotel.
The Langham Hotel?
Yes.
Where is that?
It is. It's a fair distance away from. It's still in London, but it's a distance away from the Savoy, so it would give us enough space.
I'll call them. We'll see if they've got rooms. If they got rooms, maybe we have to bunk up together, but we'll see. They should have rooms. We're rich.
Yeah. So you call, and it's easy enough to make arrangements in the other hotel.
What the hell is that?
That's the Langham.
That's just a lot of gobbledygook. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to get our stuff together and check out.
Oh, how about not check out immediately? Is that?
Yeah, no, I would check out in the morning.
I don't want to come back to this hotel at all, ever.
True, but if we check out immediately, that might bring a flag. Maybe if we just sort of disappear.
Well, not pay our bill.
Oh, pay the bill is just maybe
We're gonna check out and leave at 3 a.m.
okay.
And as I said, we'll go in different. Me and Hauser can go in a cab, and Fox and Chapman and Morris, you guys take another cab, and we'll go different directions.
And don't park right in front of the hotel, like be a block
I
away.
can call the Langham from a payphone.
Excellent.
Payphones.
And we can get out of our cabs, not right there at the hotel, but a little bit away, like a couple blocks. Just so no one, if someone's following us.
Yeah.
And here's an idea as well. If you're ever going to mention the hotel in the lobby or around people or anything, say that we're moving to the Strand Hotel, so it'll throw them off the scent as well.
Yeah.
Good idea. Codename Strand.
If they ask us for a forwarding address, yeah. So we're going to be staying at the Strand. All right. So we're going to be covert.
Okay, so you execute Operation
Willoughby.
Willoughby.
Hotel Strand.
Wilhelmina Willoughby. That's our code name for this.
Wilhelmina Willoughby.
And so at 3 a.m., you transfer all your things over to the Stratum,
The
Langham.
Langham.
Langham. Okay.
And we keep mentioning the Strand. And yes, it was a lovely hotel. Thank you very much. But we have kind of a thing that we have to go to, so we have to leave. Yeah. Oh yes, of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's paid for. And I'm paying for everything in cash, so that there's no.
Okay. You
trace.
vanish from that hotel, essentially. And you are now at your other hotel.
We bring Morris.
And we sign in under different names.
We wanted to play a joke on Morris, so we simply lifted him off his bed where he slept, and we deposited him in the new bed and laid him. He has no idea. Stiff as a board, light as a feather. It worked. All right.
Right. So you are now at your new hotel. I'm going to assume you're going to rest. Not going to do anything else at like 5 a.m.
Right. We'll probably sleep in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So, say you wake up around 11 a.m. on the 7th, Saturday.
I'm going to check the door of our hotel room just to make sure there's no newspaper clipping with a knife in it.
There is not.
Thank God. The way you started that was like that. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, waiting for the shoe to drop.
I'm so paranoid.
So
Me too.
one or two of us needs to go to the Hall of Records and see if we can find out any of this information.
Yeah. At least two.
Well, Hauser's the books guy.
Yeah, I can go.
He's the best one, and Freddie, you're pretty good at
yes.
that kind of thing.
All right. And we should dress down.
Yeah. And remember, we've signed in into the hotel under false names. So
Brush my beard a little differently. Or sunglasses.
All right. So who's going to the Hall of Records?
Hauser
and Frederick, and then Octavius and Theodore. What were you up to?
I'm gonna learn that spell. I'm gonna memorize the shit out of that.
I'm just gonna sit here and sip coffee and think about my life.
Okay. So Theodore, if you want to make a education check.
Okay. Oh, 6. Yeah, that's an extreme pass.
That is an extreme?
Yeah.
Okay, so you feel like if you spend this entire day on this, you can have this memorized.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, I've got nothing else to do, so I'll.
Okay. So you're spending Saturday memorizing the spell. Frederick and Hauser, what records are you looking for?
So
Ownerships of the buildings, of the Empire Spices, and the club,
And the
and the
warehouse.
warehouse.
Import-export companies.
Okay, so looking at those records, it's fair enough. So Empire Spices and the Blue Pyramid Club. The building of Empire Spices is owned by Azara Shaikh. The building that the Blue Pyramid Club is in is also owned by Zara Shaikh.
Oh, interesting.
And the warehouse is owned by a man named Puneet Chaudhary.
Umik Chaudhary.
What company is the warehouse under? Or is it just a private warehouse?
It's a private warehouse.
Okay.
There's no
Okay. Right.
overarching business entity.
And how long have they owned it? For a long time? Just recently?
They've owned it for years and years and years.
Okay.
Over a decade.
Over decades. Okay.
See if you can find any. Oh, I can't tell you.
And Zara Shaikh has owned those buildings for the last 10 years.
Can we do a searching for Zahara? What else Zahara might own?
Give me a library use.
Excellent.
Bit
Aha!
less forward.
05.
She does not own any other property that you can find.
Okay, so this is it. The club on the Spice House.
And if you continue that to the Penhew Foundation,
Yes.
the Penhew Foundation only owns that one building.
Only the one.
So can I find how long Shrike has been, Shaikh?
Shaikh.
Shaikh, okay. Has been in the country?
You're looking for
Like immigration records?
immigration records?
Yeah.
Are those public records?
Honestly, probably not.
You're not-
And so she bought the properties 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So she's at least been here 10 years.
There might be a roundabout way, but I'm not there.
Possibly.
Like when she bought the building, there might be how long she was in it.
Can we search for anything that Audrey or Gavigan personally own outside of the Foundation building?
So looking at that, Gavigan owns a rather large estate in Essex County.
Excellent. Okay, and what about Audrey?
Audrey, you don't find any property records for him.
All right.
Where was our werewolf?
Derbyshire, near Derbyshire.
Okay.
Is that anywhere near Essex?
No. Nope.
That would have been too convenient.
Gavin's got money then.
Mm-hmm.
See, I wonder, maybe boats, shipping, freight liners that the Penhew Foundation might have, or they would probably lease
There's
it.
nothing on record. They don't own any boats, any ships.
That's a good point. See if you can find out what boat was docked and where the guy was killed, if that matches up with anything.
We're still not there. So.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
But you could look up.
Any?
Yeah, I mean, and looking at ship records.
Yeah.
The amount of ships going in and out every day is incredible. Trying to pinpoint any trying to pinpoint any one ship that has shown up at these key locations and things is quite the endeavor.
Okay.
Hmm.
Frederick? Can you think of anything?
Like a break out the team of accountants type.
Yeah.
Cross-reference
I'm gonna
everything.
say, you
and-
know the day, and you know if you can find out where the guy was killed, you know the day and the location.
Backtrack a little bit of
You'd
The
be able to
murders
go
go
what
back.
boats came in. On this
The
day.
murders go
Oh.
back 3 years.
What was docked at the dock?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
What was
yeah,
docked,
we can
what
check
docked
that
on
out.
that day of the murder?
So looking at the new, he was not murdered on the docks. His body was
Ah.
discovered in Soho, not
Oh,
not on the
So he's a
waterfront.
dock
He-
worker.
he could have been at a
That was killed.
bar.
Yeah.
He couldn't have bar, yeah. We just know that he was a dock worker. Yeah.
And
Well,
this
we're
was
trying to work out what dock
He
worked
did
at.
work in the same area as this warehouse where you were so kindly
Ah,
greeted.
okay, right.
yeah. So he's probably stumbled into
The
something.
Limehouse docks is that area, and that's where he worked.
Okay.
well,
I mean, he could have been killed by the organized crime for stumbling onto something not even related to this.
right.
Yeah, but then he was killed in the exact same way as the Egyptian murders, which could have been done to cover it up.
Yeah.
It could have been done
Fair,
to be like, hey, let's throw him in with this. But then it's the fact that it's him and the student, and possibly that's why the inspector doesn't want us involved, because he knows that organized crime are involved. So it's too dangerous.
They might have leads that we don't know about and that we're going
Exactly.
to fuck up.
Well, Frederick, I think this estate that the Gavigan owns might be interesting, but
Maybe that's
it's also interesting.
out
Zahara
of the way
has,
though.
yeah,
So looking at that property, it's called the Misser House.
the Misser House. Interesting.
It's
Especially since
the name of it was changed. He changed the name after he purchased it.
It
How's
was
that
the
spelled,
Mr. House,
M?
and he changed it, or he changed it to the Mr. House.
He changed it to the Misser
it's
House.
a Misser House.
How's it spelled?
MISR.
I'm sorry, you jumped out. MIS.
MISR.
Oh, just MISR.
And some of you speak Arabic, correct?
Jawohl,
Okay,
No.
1 second.
almost fluent.
I speak French, which is almost there.
25.
I think French, Spanish, and Latin.
Got Spanish too. We can talk. We can have secret conversations.
25 in the Arabic.
Comoret orben, ecteris jactatus et alto.
Right. Okay. So, in Arabic, that means Egypt.
Ooh, the Egypt house.
So,
Definitely
Right.
checking that out.
Interesting. Okay.
looking at it, so the land, so it was formerly owned by somebody named Neville Lloyd Price, but it was purchased by Gavigan.
Neville Price owned it originally.
Neville Lloyd Price.
Do we know when he purchased it?
He purchased it in 1925.
Oh, so
Oh, this year.
recently.
1915. I
Oh,
can read
oh, yeah.
numbers.
Okay.
I can read numbers.
Just into
No,
the
I can't.
future.
During
Oh,
the
so
Great
10
The
years.
future. Yeah. 1915.
19. So that's been Gavigan bought it from Price.
Yes. And it was known as Longview, but the guy who owned it before Gavigan, my apologies, it was Lloyd Price who renamed it to the Mr. House.
Oh,
Hmm.
And Gavigan obtained it from him.
Oh, Lloyd
Right.
Price renamed it.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
When did our fellow disappear?
Aubrey.
So he's owned his estate for 10 years, and she's owned her property for 10 years.
And when did Aubrey disappear?
1919. So Gavigan owned it before,
Yes.
which means he didn't like steal a whole bunch of money from Aubrey. He already had money.
And with that, this is where we are going to leave it for tonight.
All right. Our players included Zane Fleming, Brian Daly, Stuart Lively, and myself, Mick Swan, will be back next week with Morgan Llewellyn as Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download through Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments, and we're reading them and answering the rest of them. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure in the universe which we have enough in the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Good luck. Good game.